let's face it, Bailey has a reputation, whether it's true or not, or whether he's, I mean, let us never be judged by things we did when we were 20 years old, but as being someone who's rather stubborn and hard-headed, I mean, did he push through and say, no, I want to pitch, I want to pitch, I want to pitch, I want to pitch, and maybe we should have been talking about surgery, I don't know.
But everyone is like
months
every
ago,
athlete wants to play right now. It is. It goes back to that staff to say no.
Has to say,
But
let's take a look at that.
That's what they did with Latos, though.
Yeah.
They said, hey, I want to pitch tonight. But they said, no, you got to, I'm not sure if he said that, but you have to, you got to go to the minors and pitch one more time.
He doesn't have as deep a voice.
Yeah, yeah.
You know, I mean,
Injury and being hurt. It's like,
he's yapping about they pushed guys to come back, and yet they were holding him back to come back.
Yeah.
Not to come back so early.
Yeah, that was the ridiculous thing about Latos, because I know he was not happy that that's putting it very mildly.
But I look at Bailey, and I said the same thing, you know, when they signed it. I said, I don't care, but you want to give the guy $105 million, that's great, but 6 years for a starting pitcher, and unfortunately that's now the norm. If you're going to sign a pitcher to a long-term deal, it's absolutely flat out ridiculous.
Salary cap stuff too. I mean, that just kills it. Not having that, I don't know.
I wouldn't sign Cueto to a 6-year contract.
No way. And you know, God bless Homer Bailey, you know, but I mean, he's a .500 pitcher that's thrown 2 no-hitters. I mean, he's just, that's what he is. And to say that's my horse and back him, I think it was just a bad decision.
Do you ever get the feeling, whenever I see him talk, he just seems like he's really comfortable, which is not something that I like. He doesn't seem like he's got a fire. He just thinks like, I've made it. This is my team. They brought me up, and I'm going to be in the rotation for as long as I want to be. And that was even before I think he signed the big contract. I don't think he's pissed when he loses. He just tries to talk about baseball in a philosophical way or something. That's what I sense when I listen to him talk.
I see the opposite. I mean, I've seen him. I mean, I've seen him slam his glove. I've seen him clearly shouting profanity into his glove when they do one of those things. I mean, I think he might be
and I see that on the field.
I
see that. Okay, I see that on the field. But when I see him talk to him after the game, I just see him just very blasé.
I mean, you're talking.
I want him to be mad all the time.
Well, I don't think that's healthy either. But you're talking about a guy who.
That's how you win all the time.
Who has
you never let it go.
You're talking about a guy.
Would you let Mike speak, please?
Talking about a guy who has one of my all-time favorite Reds moments from the last couple of years, when after he pitched the first no-hitter, and I don't remember which reporter asked him. Was he distracted by the time on the base paths the previous inning? Did that lead to him walking the guy? And he dropped the F-bomb live on TV. You know, I mean, so I think he's a pretty passionate guy. I don't think he's Votto that just sits back and like waxes poetic. I think he gets pretty fired up.
But here's what you got. You got a guy on a 6-year deal. He pitched a fraction of last season.
Yeah.
He made 3 starts this season, and he's probably not going to pitch until the middle of next year.
Middle of next year.
At the earliest, you're probably talking after the All-Star break.
Yeah.
If he has Tommy John surgery.
And if they would have identified that last year and said, look, this is a problem, I mean, we might have been talking about he's back by the end of this year, but now it's going to be, if it's Tommy John, it's probably the All-Star break next year. And you also wonder, will he ever be the same? I mean, the success rate of Tommy John surgeries are really, really good now, but by the time he comes out of that, he's going to be 30 years old.
Right.
He's going to need to learn how to throw a knuckleball. That's what he's got to do. If he wants to stay in this league, he's got to develop the knuckler.
Yes, he does.
Well, the remedy for